today with a joke. You may have seen it on one of my posters. So here we go. Did you all hear about the restaurant on the moon? No. Great food, no atmosphere. All right, that's it. Yeah, you got another 20 minutes of bad timing and bad jokes. So if you'd like to leave now, Mr. Slaughter is currently closing the door, so it's not true. Speaking of restaurants, it actually reminds me of my mother. Every time that we go out to eat, she whips out a Purell bottle because she's a germaphobe. It's true. But it didn't just start at the restaurants. It actually started at, I think, my early years when I was a toddler. I remember being in daycare. Any story that starts remembering being in daycare, it's going to be a good one. And you could take a nap at 11, you could wake up, munch on some carrots, and by the time you finish munching, your mom's there to pick you up. It's like, yay! Woo! This is real school. So, yes, I had an awakening when I came to Willard, just to let you all know. But we would get home, and she would get me into the door, and the first words out of her mouth were, "You need to get out of those germ-infested clothes." And I would just stand there like, what? I just ate a carrot. And then she would proceed to rush me to the bathroom yelling, "Decontamination bath! Decontamination bath!" As if I had spent the entire afternoon in Area 51. And then it came time, when we were out in public, and we would use the bathroom, public restrooms. It's always a fun place to be. She would stand by the door, and she would look me in the eyes, and she would hold a paper towel, and she would say, "Every time you open the handle, use the paper towel." And she would yell. She would projectile yell this at the wall. I don't know, maybe she thought my dad could hear, I don't know. Maybe it was some sort of weird test. Not sure. But, my favorite part of this routine was when we got halfway through the door and she turned to me, so eager, she would go, "Watch this shot." And I would look at the trash can about 6 feet away from where we were standing, and I'd watch her ball up the paper towel, look at me, look at the trash can, and then I would watch the paper towel fly into the air and fall 3 feet short of the trash can. And then the whole process would start again, including the "Every time you try to reach for the handle, use a paper towel." Every time. But my dad, he never questioned any of this behavior. It's very cute. When we were sitting at the table, and the waiter was taking the menus, she just pulls out the hand sanitizer, doesn't say anything. My dad will be munching on a chicken wing, a really crispy chicken wing, as people in Buffalo do, just munch on chicken wings. And he'll just hold out his hand. I think there's something to say about that. Just very cute. So you should be proud. I'm doing stand-up, so.
Knock 'em dead, kid.
Speaking of simpler times, I miss fruit roll-ups. It's true. I miss good old-fashioned fruit by the foot fruit roll-ups. It's a real tragedy in my life currently. And, I remember that I used to get them, the ones in the lime green packaging with the plastic all wrapped around them. I miss those. My grandma used to hide them from me. She used to hide them next to her ointment and her heart medication. But I was standing in the snack aisle of the grocery section, and I was looking at all these ridiculous snacks people have nowadays. Did you know that there's sugar-free, no-fat, low-sodium, vegan, animal cruelty-free, PETA verified, fruit roll-ups. I had no idea. You know, I was standing there and I felt like the 2006 Motorola Corona. You know, the phone that everybody had with the rhinestone case. It had the keyboard. It had enough keys in the keyboard to type the Gettysburg Address in one message before Verizon reached out and said, "Hello, you have gone over your data plan. You will be billed $50. Yeah, those phones. I felt like that. Looking at the shiny new iPhone 10 with its touchless screen, its shiny steel edges, its 100% farm fresh, hormone-free lithium battery that'll probably give you half the radiation poisoning. I stared at it in awe. I mean, children are eating vegan fruit roll-ups. It's astounding to me. I mean, I thought science would have cured cancer by now, but no, instead they made us vegan fruit roll-ups. I mean, imagine being that scientist, you know, giving their end of the year presentation, and they go up and they're like, "Hello, so this year we used your $100,000 grant to make vegan fruit roll-ups. Even though it was designed to cure, you know, cancer, we wanted to do something different." It's a shame, really. I mean, come on, you gotta let kids be kids. You know, relax a little bit. 6-year-olds deserve to unwind, to kick back, to relax with a. Can you imagine if my next word was a Bud Light? If I had said that, that'd be quite funny. Let's just hypothetically imagine this situation. You know, you got 6-year-old Susie Q sitting on the couch with a cold one, and Angeline walks in, and she just looks at Susie and she goes, "No, I told you that was for after dinner." But it's true, you know. I fully believe that every child should have the experience of unwrapping a lime green metallic wrapper, getting to peel off that long piece of plastic, and just to get to enjoy that full-fat, high-carb, fully artificially flavored fruit roll-up. Little people. A vegan fruit roll-up is a Samsung slide with no keyboard. Pointless. Absolutely pointless. No, I feel like veganism, I feel like that's a popular trend nowadays. You know, it's like, "Hey everybody, let's go vegan." I mean, I'm all for it, you know, peace, love, and pigs, you know. No more bacon, I guess, you know. But something that I find odd, that some people who are attempting to go vegan, what does that mean? I don't know. Vegetarian, maybe? They put butter in their coffee and tea. True story. I witnessed this happen. You know, I was behind this lady in line at Starbucks, and she goes, "Hi, could I get 3 shots of espresso, 2 cups of sugar, about a quarter-half of full-fat milk, and about 3 slices of butter." "Thank you, Beverly." And then she, you know, the barista asked her, she says, "Oh, would you like a scone with that?" And then she goes, "Oh, no, thank you, I'm watching my calories." Because that's what the calories are in. But, I mean, butter in coffee? What? Butter in coffee. But what I really don't get is butter in tea. That's like butter water. You know, it's literally butter water. And especially like green tea. That stuff is supposed to be detoxifying for one's body. But if you put butter in it, you're just toxifying your body, I suppose. Very weird. You know, I tried to order a green tea once. I did. I tried to order a green tea once. Not at Dunkin' Donuts, sadly. Not at Tim Hortons, but you know, you don't have any of those around, so nobody gets that reference. Anyhow, I was, you know, I was in Taiwan on an immersion trip when I was 14 years old, and I was very eager. I was very eager to become fluent in Chinese. And the moment I stepped off the plane, I was like, you know, I need some green tea. I need some green tea with no butter in it. Yes. So I go up to the counter, and you know, everybody's smiling and happy. Yay! I haven't insulted you yet. Yay! I ask. I say, "Ni hao, 我要一个绿茶婊." I say those words precisely, and the guy looks at me and he's like, and at this point in my life, the little Yoda, like, you know how we all get those Yodas in our minds that tell us, hey, you shouldn't be repeating this. It's not funny. Yeah, that didn't go off. Instead, what went off, hey, repeat it louder. He didn't hear you. I don't know what that character is, but it's not a pretty character. And so I repeat my request another time, and then a third time, and as I got around to the fourth time, he poked his friend that was standing behind the counter, his fellow coworker, and I was like, oh, good! Now we have more of an audience. I come to find out, and you know, as I'm saying what I thought was ordering, just a simple green tea, vegan friendly, of course, he started to laugh, and I was very confused. I was like, oh, maybe I have a funny accent or something, or maybe, I don't know, am I speaking Spanish? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. And finally one of my classmates comes up to me and she says, hey, come on, chop, chop, we gotta go. And I was like, I'm trying to get some green tea. I mean, I'm tired. And she said, well, what are you saying? And I tell her what I said. And she said, that's what she said. That's what she said to me. You know, so I'm standing there in the airport, and I'm getting laughed at, not only by strangers, but also now by my friend. And I said, well, that's helpful. What did I say? And she goes, Catherine, sweetie, you said, hi, I would like a B word, please. That's right, girl. This is the PG show. Our show is for select audiences only. You gotta pay for that, okay? So, yeah, so that sadly wasn't the only language faux pas that I had. About a couple days later, same trip, I thought that I could fully comprehend Taiwan's politics, so I wanted to buy a newspaper article. It's kind of like a toddler wanting to buy the Wall Street Journal, you know? It's like, hey Ma, I passed reading level 2. I think Mr. Peterson's gonna pass me on to kindergarten next year. It's like, yeah. So I'm just walking down the street, and I find a place that has newspapers, and I go in. And I look around at the variety of newspapers with a language I don't understand except the word hi, which isn't anywhere to be found in the papers, by the way. And I pick one out randomly, the one that had the most pictures. So, and I go, you know, I go to check out and pay for the paper, and then I notice behind the clerk, there's this bigger paper. You know, it had enlarged characters, and I was like, that must be important. I want that one instead. And I was like, well, you can't just go behind the counter, Catherine. You know, you gotta ask. Like, duh. And so So the older woman is standing there as I'm going through this conversation with myself in my head and arguing with myself and probably saying a few things out loud to myself. And finally I get the courage and I say, "Ni hao." These stories always start with "ni hao." They always do. I say, "Ni hao, 你有没有一个婊子吗？我很喜欢一个婊子." Okay, good. Everybody understood that? That's great, because that was a joke. Yeah, you should all be laughing. Thank you. That's right. She's a paid member. She's required to laugh. Yes. That's right. That's exactly it. Yes. So once again, I repeat the same phrase about I think my record was 5 times as this time, Yeah. And I keep saying it. And then the same classmate, oh bless her heart, the same classmate comes up to me and she says, "What are you doing? We need to go." We always had to go in these situations too. That's what I love about the memories. They come back and it's like, am I still rushing the memory? Why is the memory still being rushed? Anyhow, we had to go all the time. Always had to go. I was always taking the longest, apparently. I'm sorry, I wanted to get the experience. I insult a few people on the way. Oh, jeez. Anyhow, so I tell her what I said, and she says, "Catherine, you said hi. Do you have any prostitutes for sale?" I really like prostitutes, especially that one. Needless to say, I didn't get to ask her if any of her prostitutes were vegan. So, yeah. Well, So thank you so much for coming. That was really what I had planned. Short and sweet is how I'll keep it, because if I just continue to talk, who knows where I will go. So, if you have any questions about my career in stand-up, please feel free to come up and ask. I love audience interaction. But before we all go, for those of you that didn't get to actually hear about my dear Aunt Pearl, I feel like I should send you all away with that on a high note. You're supposed to finish with the biggest laugh, and I did not get a big laugh from you people yet. So come on, let's go. All right. So when I was about 8 years old, glory days, I could eat a fruit roll-up, full-fat fruit roll-up, no bacon fruit roll-up, thanks very much. Yes, I did have a Samsung slide later in life, though. It was when I was 10, not 8, so, anyhow. I was 8 years old, My great Aunt Pearl died. It's tragic. She passed away, she was about 107, or 96, or 82, I don't know. Somewhere in the range. I thought she was born in the Revolution, I don't know. She was very old. And on this one hot summer day, I went into the post office, and I unwound the box. I got a yellow slip, and I was like, "Yippee! It's a gift for me!" And so I go and I trade it in, and the post office, the postman says, "Looks like you got a package today." And I said, "Uh-huh." It's like, "What do you think it is?" And he's rattling it around. He's like, "It sounds like it's something breakable." And I was like, "How do you know?" And he said, "Well, it seems there's a lot of, I don't know, packaging in there or something. There's something cushy in the box." And I was like, "Ooh, maybe it's one of those sand, those dig around sand fossil things." I was like, "Ooh, yeah. Hopefully it's that." So I get the box, we go home, and I tear through it pretty quickly, kind of like a T-Rex looking for a little chipmunk, I don't know. Those things go together. Looking for a midnight snack. When you're want a midnight snack and you go down your kitchen and you're looking for something and you're like, gotta be healthy, gotta stay on that diet, you know, gotta look slim for the photos tomorrow. But you're looking for something to munch on. I'm a big snacker if you haven't gotten the memo yet. You know, but that's how I ripped through this box. And I whip it up, and it's this package, this clear bag of dust. And I was like, oh, so it's one of those retro fossil things. I was like, ooh, zesty. I can get into this. All right, Ma, I see where you're coming at with this birthday present. I was like, you're trying to trick me. Okay, all right. Now, what I ignored was the card that said, family. I just ignored it. And I tossed it to the wind. And I ripped open the bag of dirt that I thought was dirt. And I start digging through it. I start digging through the dirt, trying to find that fossil, like that chipmunk trying to find a midnight snack, just trying to find it. You know, a couple minutes pass. I get my paintbrush out. I try to dust off what I think is dirt. No, there's a little pebble there. I was like, what's this little pebble doing in here? I was like, that's a ripoff. Come on, TJ Maxx. No, what are you doing? You don't buy those at TJ Maxx. Oh well. I was very discouraged that I didn't find anything other than a little pebble. And, you know, I figured, I was like, well, maybe there's something in the card. Maybe the card has directions as to what the pebble can unlock. You know, it's like one of those national treasure things. Maybe I could be Nicolas Cage, except better and smarter. I mean, who locks themselves in a room full of water that's closing? It's a stone room filling with water. I'm sorry, that movie just... Anyhow, I opened the letter, and it says,
thank you for taking care of Aunt Pearl. We hope that she rests well.
What? You mean you sent Aunt Pearl in a post office box to my house in the middle of nowhere, and I just spent the past 20 minutes digging around in Aunt Pearl? Yeah. That was a fun moment. I did not go and eat a fruit roll-up because I had Aunt Pearl under my fingernails. So I rolled up the bag, threw it into the box that I had already torn apart, but I still threw it in. And then I took the box and I launched it across the kitchen. Just, whoo! No. It's like when somebody puts down broccoli in front of me, it's like, I'm not eating that. Like, shoo, right back into the kitchen. No, thank you. I mean, come on, give me some cashews or something. I'll eat the cashews. So, you know, a couple days go by, and the package is still sitting in the kitchen counter, and I avoid it every time I eat breakfast. So that's every single day for 3 weeks that I avoided that box in my kitchen. I just went right to the fridge, got the Go-Gurts, and just ran. I ate very healthy as a child, as you can tell. I think maybe that has something to do with how I turned out. I don't know. Should have eaten more vegan fruit roll-ups, but anyhow, I finally think that I should tell somebody about this package and who's inside the package. You know, I mean, if I was that person inside the package that had turned into a pebble and a bunch of dust that an 8-year-old just had dug through, I think you deserve some respect. And then so I told my grandma, and my grandma said, well, you know, we should send her off in a soothing way. You know, let's spread her ashes across the lake. Let's do it. Yes. So that night, I get the box, I put on my Hannah Montana life jacket, and I set sail. No, I'm kidding. Didn't go that smoothly. But I was with my parents. They were in the boat, and my dad was driving. He was in the driver's seat, which is here, And I was in the back of the boat, which is here. Little me, my hand wants to life jacket. And my mom was standing on the other side of the boat, spreading the ashes. So, we're cruising along. Now, it's a nice day. It's a little breezy, but nothing I wasn't too scared about. And so I'm sitting there contemplating about whether I should tell them that I thought Aunt Pearl was one of those fossil crate boxes that, I had wanted for my birthday. And also there was an anonymous pebble inside. But, anyhow, so, my mom leans over, she goes, "Would you like to say anything?" And I'm looking at her and I said, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, she knows. She knows. So I just say, "No, I hope you have a great life, Aunt Pearl." Great. Yeah, sorry. So, she never questioned why the box or the bag was open, but I don't know. Maybe she already knew. Anyhow, so she dumps the bag out of ashes. She begins to pour Pearl into the pond, the lake. And before dear Pearl there hits the water, a gust of wind blows across. A gust of wind. I hate that gust of wind. It was probably Pearl. It's called karma, kid. And so I was sitting in the back of the boat, la-dee, la-da-da, Hannah Montana. Maybe I'll just watch an hour of her show tonight. It's half an hour. And then I look over, it's like, does Mom need any help? Looks like she's got Pearl under control. And then Pearl wants to say goodbye formally. And so this gust of wind goes whoosh across the boat, and Pearl goes with it. And I begin to scream a little bit. I begin to just go. It's kind of like the noise that the car makes when it needs an oil change, sort of. I feel like that's what it reminded. It was a little higher pitch, It was like. I don't know. It was something weird. It was something weird and funky. But I think Pearl was embodied in that because I was kind of breathing her in at this point. So my mom continues to pour out the rest of Pearl. There was a lot of her in there, or hopefully. A pebble never came out. I don't know. I never got hit with a pebble. The pebble disappeared, okay? Nobody knows where the pebble went. Probably because it wasn't a pebble. That's probably why. Just a little ball of dust, a little hump of Pearl's brain. Or something. Anyhow, we're going to steer away from that. We're going to drive away from that topic. So I'm still sitting in the back of the boat, covered in Aunt Pearl, and my mom is just pouring Pearl still.
Oh, Aunt Pearl, I wish we could have talked more.
My dad is driving the boat going, and he turns around while driving the boat. Watch out, water skiers. You got Aunt Pearl on the loose over here. All drivers beware. She has a pebble. And he goes, Amy! Catherine's covered in Pearl! Now this boat, I forgot to mention, it's very loud. It's kind of like a lawnmower churning with a bunch of wood chips, so it's just kind of like the entire time you're on the boat, right? Not relaxing at all. So.